Jeff Miller. I'm the National Sales Manager for Brutocao and Bliss Family Vineyards. Family-owned winery in the southern part of Mendocino County. We're about an hour and a half north of San Francisco. Irv Bliss bought the property in '43, and we were very large grape growers through the 70s, 80s, actually 90s, and up till 2000. Len Brutocao, Irv Bliss's son-in-law, took over the property in the 70s. So we sell to, and have sold to, a lot of the well-known Sonoma and Napa wineries, folks like Camus and Flowers and Ravenswood, Sagacio, Hess, Honig, Sebastiani, a lot of well-known folks throughout Sonoma and Napa. 2014 is the vintage. It's stainless steel fermented, so very bright, crisp, and clean. It's completely unoaked. It's a single vineyard coming from our Felice Ranch. Flavor profiles are more tropical fruit, and it has this nice kind of rich roundness to it to make it a perfect summer wine, but also through the fall, winter, and spring with great acidity to pair with food. We don't use any oak whatsoever. We want to, as grape growers, we want to showcase the fruit that we're growing and let it shine through. We picked this a little bit later, so it has this nice kind of roundness to it, but it maintains a tremendous amount of acidity without being racy, without being overbearing, without being grassy. And I think it's a great food wine as well as a great wine on its own. So the Pinot comes from our Anderson Valley property, and I mentioned that we are an hour and a half north of San Francisco is where the winery and the majority of our grapes are grown. We also have a property in Anderson Valley, which is a cool, foggy region on the coast that is about 3 hours north of San Francisco. It's perfect Pinot growing country. So we have 10.5 acres planted of 5 different clones of Pinot Noir. As I mentioned, the old Scharfenberger winery that we purchased. We have a tasting room there, and it's a single vineyard. We call it our Slow Lopen Ranch, which is a Buntling term, a term that was created in Anderson Valley for the locals to talk amongst themselves, so the bright lighters or the folks coming from San Francisco or the tourists didn't understand what they were saying. So Slow Lopen just means happy, and all of our ranches have a happy theme. We have our Bliss Ranch, our Felice Ranch, which is kind of loosely translated in Spanish for happy, Contento, which is Italian word for happy. So Slow Lopen is a Buntling happy term. That wine, as I mentioned, from 5 different clones of Pinot Noir. It's aged for 18 months in all French oak. Stylistically, it is a Burgundian or French style of Pinot Noir. It's 100% Pinot. It's classic. It has a little bit of earthiness, but it has this neat kind of velvety quality to it. You get some tart cherry flavors and up front, but then in the mouthfeel usually kind of round and silky and velvety. Quadriga. Quadriga is a fanciful name. It means a chariot carried by 4 horses. Our 4 horses in that wine are the 4 Italian grapes we're growing on our property. So it's Sangiovese, Primitivo, Barbera, and Dolcetto. And it's a fun little blend. It actually came together as a winemaker play wine. The Sangiovese wasn't ready, and our winemaker decided he'd blend it with some of these other Italians and came up with something he really enjoyed. He put it away, had it bottled for a year without a name, without a plan for the wine, brought it out to a wine club event, and people just loved it. And they said, how can we buy it? And so we said, well, we need a label and we need a name. And we're thinking about having a naming contest, and one of the folks there 2 weeks later emailed us and said, why don't you call it Quadriga? We said, well, why Quadriga? He said, well, you're Italian family. It's a symbol seen all throughout Italy, and there's 4 grapes. And we said, done, no naming contest needed. Sent him a big 3-liter bottle with his picture on it and said, thank you very much. And this will be our that's our 10th or 11th iteration of Quadriga. So it's a fun wine. It's a very versatile wine. It's the wine that goes with lighter fare, it goes with heavier fare. Its sweet spot is pasta, but it's a perfect wine to pair with a lot of different foods, and it drinks really well on its own. We're a true family-run winery. It's 3rd generation, and the 4th generation is getting involved in the winery through the tasting room, a little bit of sales and marketing. But Steve Brutacao's my boss, and he's the CEO and does sales and marketing. David Brutacao's in charge of production. Len Brutacao's in the vineyards. And everybody helps out. We'd love for you to try our wines. We think we're making some really neat, handcrafted wines that you can't find everywhere. And if you ever get a chance to get out to California, come see us at the winery. We're an hour and a half north of San Francisco. It's just a hop, skip, and a jump.